Hey guys, my name's Gianni. This is my first YouTube video, so pardon if it's a little amateurish. Anyway, I'm entering the Backwater Reptiles contest where basically we just do a review of some of the animals that we've gotten from them, and there's a chance to win a $300 gift card or $200 or $100 depending on first, second, third place. Anyway, so after I make this video, hopefully you guys like it because that's how you win. The more likes, that's how they decide who's the winner. So a little bit about myself before I go on to talk about my animals. As I said, my name's Gianni. I'm actually starting vet school this coming fall, and what I eventually want to do is specialize in exotics. Obviously, I love reptiles, so that's primarily what I want to focus in, but we'll see where that path goes. So on to some of my animals. Not necessarily all of them are backwater purchases, but I feel like the rules were kind of vague as to what they wanted. They just wanted a review of some of the animals and make it as creative as possible, so I thought I would show you the reptiles that I own. So, starting with the one down here. This is a rhino rat snake. Pardon the tank's appearance. I know it looks very sparse. That's because this is just a temporary home. And he's back here. I don't really want to disturb him because about an hour or two ago I just fed him. He took 2 pinky heads from me. So the reason he's in this temporary tank is because his final tank isn't complete. Now this is an arboreal species, and I have his final tank that I'm working with over here. Now, I know it might be hard to see. There's a waterfall feature in there. However, I ran it a couple days ago, and water's spouting out of the one side, so I have to silicone that before I finally put him in there. With a few more plant growth in there, it should be complete for him and he can go in. You're going to start seeing a trend with a lot of my tanks. I'm trying to make them as natural as possible. All the animals I own are captive bred. However, I feel even though they're captive bred, I still kind of want to replicate what they would have in the wild. So a lot of my tanks are naturalistic. It's a little bit more work to them, but I think it's to the benefit of the animals. If we look over here at my next tank, this actually has a backwater reptile purchase in it. This is an emerald tree boa, not from Backwater, but if you can see in the back here, and there's one right here as well, there are 3 red-eyed tree frogs that I got last summer. I actually ordered 4 from Backwater. Unfortunately, one of them didn't make it through the delivery process. It happens. One reason I'm not a huge fan of ordering reptiles and amphibians online, but regardless, the transaction with Backwater was really good. I just explained it to them when I opened the package that it was dead, and they offered either a refund or to reship a new one. I opted for the refund since I would have to pay an extra $40 for the overnight delivery fee. So anyway, these guys are still kicking and doing great. Up here, I have some new additions I got about a month or 2 ago. These are also red-eyed tree frogs, but as you can see, they're babies, so obviously it wouldn't be appropriate to put them in with the big guys. So this is kind of like a quarantine chamber slash growth chamber. Until they get to be about the same size as those guys, I'm not going to mix them in. Here we have a green tree python. You'll notice there's some stuck shed on him. Tried getting that off. He actually went blue a couple days ago, so I've been upping the humidity. I'm hoping that that's going to just come off with his next shed, and it'll be a nice one-piece shed. And I'll explain why his tank's a little barer in a minute compared to some of the other tanks. If you look down here at this tank, this is another backwater reptile purchase. This is a western hognose snake. Oh, I know. Look at that. Typical hognose behavior. He's puffing up. He's striking, trying to be intimidating. Now, I got him 2 years ago when he was probably about this long. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very intimidating. Very intimidating. Anyway, when he was about this long and probably thinner. Yeah, I know. You just want to show off for the camera. Thinner than a pencil. As you can see, he's grown considerably in the last 2 years. So, good on Backwater for supplying captive bred western hognoses. Oh, I know. I know. You're trying to be so intimidating. Not a reptile, but our cat Violet. She likes to play with the reptiles. Alright, so as I mentioned, the green tree python tank is a little sparse. There's a reason for that. this tank out here is actually going to be his final home. I've been constructing it for a while. It's all cork background with a lot of natural live plants in there. The biggest challenge with this, and the reason he's not in there yet, is because of this. I have to custom make a top because they sell glass tops for bow fronts. However, that wouldn't provide hardly any ventilation, and I don't want to end up with a respiratory infection or anything like that. So I'm going to actually have to custom build my own. I'm still trying to figure out the details of that and how to do that. I recently graduated, so I have a lot more time on my hands. So hopefully within the next month, I can get that knocked out and I can finally move him in here, which you'll also notice is this is a 46-gallon tank compared to the, 10, 15 gallon that he's in now. So he should be much happier in here. My next tank, which is a little spare, so I need to get some more plants in here, specifically some epiphytes, bromeliads, Neoregelia species up on the top. However, this has phasmantle dart frogs in there, which there's one, actually there's 3 of the 4 right there, and there's the 4th one. These guys are E. Antony, not a backwater reptile purchase, but still interesting. Last summer, when I got those red-eyed tree frogs, I also had ordered a red-footed tortoise. Came to me probably about this big, so it was probably only a couple weeks old. Did great in here. The plan was to keep him in here till he was about 5 inches and then move him into a custom-made enclosure. However, since it was the summer, I wanted him to get some nice UVB, UVA rays from the sun. So I constructed a small little enclosure for him outside that I kept at my parents' house on the deck. Unfortunately, what seems to happen was one day he dug a hole and accidentally flipped himself over because my dad actually found him flipped upside down, and unfortunately he baked. So he's no longer with us, unfortunately, but he was a good purchase from Backwater. The entire time I had him, great eater, had plenty of good bowel movements, no problems whatsoever. Another captive bred species that I really enjoyed that Backwater sold. Next and final tank that we have here is our axolotl tank. This one is my girlfriend's. I did not get this one off of Backwater. I'm actually not sure if they sell albino axolotls or not, but let's see if you can see it over here. This one I got from Backwater about 3 years ago. Might be hard to see because he's kind of mixed in with the plants, but still kicking, still doing great. They cohabitate very nicely. Again, as you can see, all live plants and stuff in there. Anything to try and mimic their natural habitat as much as possible. So, in conclusion, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is the first YouTube video I've ever made, so I apologize if it's not the best quality. I would really appreciate if you guys voted for me. It would be awesome to win a $300 gift card, or even the $200 or $100. I'm a grad student. I'm not picky on the money, but it would be great to win. And I already know if I win, I'm probably going to repurchase another red-footed tortoise because, like I said, I was very impressed with the quality that they gave me, and I wouldn't mind shopping again. So if you're looking for a good retail, that would be the cat in the background. You can share it. Yeah, so even though I try and get my cat or my reptiles to have enrichment, the cat also gets some enrichment as well. Anyway, picking up where I left off. I'm not a huge fan of online stores and wholesalers of reptiles, but if I had to, I would definitely go with Backwater Reptiles again. And I purchased from them about 3 or 4 different times. Never really had a problem with them. All right, so thanks guys. Be sure to check them out and give them a like on Facebook, and make sure you like this video. I hope you enjoyed it.